everything I know about Christopher Sabat. All right, Christopher R. Sabat, literally the voice of Vegeta, also the voice actor of Raccoon, Piccolo, and various characters throughout the Dragon Ball series. Okay, so what Christopher Sabat is he's an almighty figure, literally a legendary figure. If you actually know the Crit Gang, literally, driven by Eminem, driven by so many people, literally that was beloved. He is top tier. He knows P Diddy, literally, he's better than Tupac. All right, because what you don't know, the real life him was a part of my favorite gang in the whole wide world, the CRIPs, all right, the Crips, all right, literally. So I actually met Christopher Sabat one time, when I was in Las Vegas, all right, and I was wearing red, all right. And the beauty of actually, the gang is, you wear it, representing the beauty of America. Crips can wear the color red, but only at a specific time, all right. So what's happening, all right? He has strong building. What I know about this generation ever since Romano is that when they drink soy milk, literally milk and other things and veggies, ever since they're young. Much like my uncle Spooner, Uncle David. All right, they can damn near live forever. His build was still like this, and I love Dragon Ball Z ever since I was a little kid. But G is my favorite character, and he literally wrote Kakarot for his signature when I had a poster of him. All right, now so why I love Christopher R. Sabat. All right, first off, really, he bangs my gang, the Color Crip, alright? Because when he was growing up younger, he originally wanted to be a blood because his name Christopher, his mom pronounced it the same way as my mom said, Christopher, alright? Literally said, and his mom literally told him that he was literally supposed to be a Crip, but he tried the blood first thing in order to represent why he was a king, okay? Now, when that happens, okay? Is when he's a heavy basketball player. He plays basketball. Literally, he's the best in the gang. He does a life in prison. And what you don't know is Christopher Sabat is famous for raping black women. He's one of the blackest white men, literally, in America. Literally, he is my favorite, gang member. He is my favorite role model. He's my favorite everything. And Vegeta, there's a little bit of a history behind him. Literally, his voice is a little bit more far-fetched. If anybody knows DBZ or rape is that rape is a little bit more extreme than DBZ, but doesn't mean more than DBZ at all. All right, so the reason why I love him, right, is because, especially due with the Bonds of Vegeta set, literally, he actually tried to fight Son Schimmel, the voice of Goku, in real life. Literally, broke his arm, and Sean's like, oh, calm Chris down, literally, this and that. And the reason, literally, why I love him, because he's very charismatic as a character that I don't know what specifically going through his mind when it was Vegeta versus Raccoon, all right? But I knew that, literally, he had mental problems and issues going into it. And even though he was a Crip, a little bit more I know about him is that he still has social issues. Like, he still said, no, they don't, literally, with his mom. He's also the voice actor of Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. Okay, Christopher Sabat literally is also a great voice actor when it comes to one of my favorite animes of critically all time. All Might in My Hero Academia. So he voices All Might, he voices Zoro, and he voices Vegeta. He's one of the best voice actors of Funimation today. All right, so that's literally just one criteria. The other criteria is who he is a rap. He's an underground rapper. Why everybody literally is not far-fetched. Literally, he can be Eminem. He trained Eminem, literally, and he is literally the voice of this generation. Everybody wanted to be like Vegeta. Everybody wanted to grow up like Vegeta. And the problem really with Vegeta is that I joined the anime community over time that can call Majin Vegeta a bit of spandex, okay, literally. But the truth behind on him is I had similar road to him growing up. I made a manga called Nons. One of the main characters called Goodbye with Yoto. And, I shared a lot in common literally with the Crip Coach myself. There's a character from Yu Hakusho called Kuwabara that he voices, and the one I represent when I made girls fight each other when I went through my phase, during the Crip days was Rando. Not the one where he transforms, but literally the black one that looks like he was from the Boondocks. Rando was my role model, was my icon, just like Riley from the Boondocks was, over time, because what Rando did was he showed me a punk ass street, literally through the thing, due to active, domestic violence, that Rando was literally a punk on stage, but he was literally critically the biggest thing on paper. So guess it's safe to say I squeezed Chris on paper, literally. And Vegeta was one of his minor roles, but the other roles that he has, literally, when he had an abusive girlfriend, literally was kicking the basketball down the street. You thought that I had a very hard time with mom, literally. His abusive girlfriend, literally, made one basketball smaller, made one literally rise up like a jawbreaker, literally broke Chris's mind. Alright, he was good at writing, he was good at this, and that, literally. And his uncle told him, literally, don't write your lyrics out loud, literally. And I'm telling you, there's so much more to it do you understand, literally. So when it came to him and Sean, when they fought Meta Cooler, that was literally their let it come to you. Alright? And Vegeta is somebody who he punked in the pen. But that's just half of it, alright? So I wanted, his role. Alright? to be for a specific character. If you go watch Slave videos, go watch all my videos, you know everything I know about Christopher Sabat, alright? So he's a motivator. He tells you stays up the street, and when I met him, he was the same build as one of my best friends growing up called Ben, alright? He looked just like Ben, but I was wearing red at the time. So me and Chris kind of have a complicated relationship, and I know a lot, about his back culture. I know a lot about literally his front. I know everything that has to do literally with his entire being. In fact, literally when he was going through his, victim of domestic violence with Sean is when Super came out. All right, I knew all that. All right, literally, and where Kinder Freeze in the beating, I'm not gonna go there. That's really, really emotional. But I'm gonna save it for now. There's more that I know about him, but I can't save it because due to delivery for his video. But this is everything I know about Christopher Sabat.